Well, good afternoon. It is May the 13th, and we are, of course, heading into almost the second half of 2021. And I'm very thankful to have as our special guest today and our partner, Dr. John Thompson, who is the president and, of course, the founder of extraktLAB's equipment, which is best in class for us with regards to supercritical extraction and other. And I'm not going to do too many spoiler alerts. I'm going to have Dr. John explain all that they're up to in just one moment. But as most of you know, my name is Chris Fulton. I'm the CEO of TheraCAST International, as well as Sprout AI, OS2, and Etch, which for us provides a full turnkey solution. And that's what's bringing us to extraktLABs today. Having been in the industry pre-conception, having watched the technology evolve at the speed of light, commencing in 2012, we have looked very seriously and very hard trying to find one manufacturer who could satisfy all of our requirements for extraction. What were those requirements, you may ask? Well, number one, it had to be repeatable, it had to be economic, had to be practical to use, had to be scalable, had to be safe, had to be secure. And we've worked with so many different brands across the globe, many vendors, very competent. However, there was one that stood out, and that is Dr. John's company. Why did it stand out? And then I'll have him introduce himself. Well, pretty simply put, it was the easiest, best in class to set up in our centers of excellence like we have behind us here, in a way that the client could maximize the use of their space. It's using software that's integratable to our own, and it is something that will run and run and run easily. Built by a scientist, built for those who are trying to extract high quality cannabis and other products. Others, wink, wink, spoiler alert, for other products that are being licensed or decriminalized around the planet. And so without further ado, I welcome Dr. John. John, welcome to our TheraCAST podcast.
Yeah, thanks, Chris. Really good to join you here. And thanks for that glowing introduction. It's awesome. Appreciate that.
Well, fantastic. Yeah, with regards to technology, I think for those of our viewers that perhaps haven't had the benefit of viewing your podcast, which are outstanding, they're almost lecture quality in the sense that you're educating a market that is evolving very much at the speed of light. And so just share with us a little bit your background and how is it that you got into being first in class in your sector?
Sure. Well, thanks, Chris. Yeah, I mean, I have a PhD in analytical chemistry. I was trained as a chromatography scientist, which put me into the chemical engineering camp. I started to basically build, equipment and systems when I started in my schooling, and then went out, graduated essentially to corporate America and went into that business, which was, chromatography components, engineered components. Spent a lot of time in Europe and in Japan, just basically working with companies like Agilent Waters, Hitachi, Dionix. These are companies that are very well known. Metron would be another one. Very well known separations companies, and spent a little bit of time in mergers and acquisitions. And I said, wow, I think I could do that myself. And so that's really how I got started with the company, and started United Science in extraktLAB as a brand of United Science. And yeah, I did a lot of work initially. Working for, we worked for NASA, we worked for Exxon, we worked for, the U.S. government in various capacities, military branches. We have satellites up in space still that are just still running up there. But in 2014, my pally, who I went to college with, said, hey, why don't we go do some licenses in the U.S.? And so my company did we basically wrote licenses, won the licenses in Minnesota and in New York and Maryland and some very other ones. And my company then went out and we built all their facilities. We also went to Canada, and that's where it all started to blow up for United Science and basically for all of our equipment and services and in consulting that we do.
Well, absolutely. And we were there at the core inception of what effectively became an entirely new industry, right?
Yeah, it's pretty amazing. Just to see how it's evolved. We put hundreds of companies into the business of, hemp extraction and also cannabis extraction. And, we typically help them get started, and so we work with first in class quality companies like yourself, who is also coming alongside the customer, providing them full solutions. And that really helps. It reduces the risk for them because we have years now of experience in a lot of different areas. It reduces their startup risk. It really helps them overcome, a lot of the barriers, which are, quality barriers, overcoming and understanding what the compliancy looks like, overcoming and understanding what a good operation looks like, how to manage that operation from an operational excellence standpoint. But fundamentally, we're an equipment company, and we do we build best in class for sure, GMP, high quality EU GMP compliant production equipment for production of oils, distillation equipment, and solvent removal equipment and things like that. So we do we have a pretty broad offering.
Well, and that spoke loud and clear. Coming from the lab world myself, having run Benchmark Labs as CEO for 11 years, much of the same vendors that you spoke of, but that was HP before Agilent, for example.
Oh, HP. Oh, yeah. Those are the old days.
But
that's good.
Very complex pieces of equipment that had to be, both accurate and precise in meeting the ISO 17025 standard.
Right.
And for us, that was my first introduction outside of Six Sigma in lean manufacturing, was to really better understand within the complex analysis how to be able to put in complex systems management. And I saw that in your company very, very quickly. Your IGW software for me was embraced very warmly. We had worked to build the first LIMS system in Canada that was approved by ISO ILAC out of Australia, years ahead of the current requirements for digital record keeping. But it's complex and it's difficult, but if you get it, you get it. And that's where we saw you guys stand out very, very quickly. The equipment itself, though, is robust. And what I liked about it, even when we looked at training and maintenance schedules, and we'll talk about where you're operating in the world in a moment and what we're doing with you in the world in a moment, but being able to get a complex piece of equipment operate smoothly, repeatably, is testament to you guys. And is that in part from having worked with some of these other giants out of the lab world?
Well,
where'd that come from?
Yeah, I think that, basically working from a standpoint of a customer, we're working with engineers in Switzerland and Japan and in Germany, and Agilent, for example, is in Waldbronn and spent a lot of time in Switzerland. Just the things we just did the engineering, it had to be at a certain level so that we would not have to deal with problems. And so that's really where you started to think about, okay, what's the quality of this? How do you shake and bake this to break it before you actually send it out to the customer? What are the requirements for, all of the, building requirements, all of the, all the usage requirements. There's tons of things that you need to think about when you're building up a facility. But not only that, the piece of equipment that's in it in terms of robustness, you want to make sure that you spend the money to get the good, reliable equipment or subcomponents, because otherwise your customer is paying the price for your adding a few dollars to your bottom line. So we had always wanted to have the most robust equipment, which I think we do. Indefinitely, we certainly have the most advanced, tracking systems that are actually built right into the equipment. And that's a lot of reasons why people like to use our equipment in terms of repeatability and reproducibility. For example, we just had a very large client up in Canada. We've been servicing them for quite some time, and they are like, okay, well, we have all of these distillation machines, but I have first shift that can't match the second shift and the third shift. And here we're going international, and this is going to be a nightmare for us because we don't know anything. And so we went through all, here's the batch record system here that's right in the equipment. Here's all the data. Here's all the sensors. We put a lot of IoT, built it right into the equipment so that you're really able to understand, okay, here's the person, here's the equipment, here's the calibration, here's the sensors that are giving me the batch record with all of the data in it, so I can actually warehouse all that data and understand what's happening in your facilities from one point of halfway around the world. It's really great. So that's really the importance of reproducibility, not only from the standpoint of the equipment itself and the quality that you build into the equipment, but also the software which you use to run it.
Well, that's just it. Our OS2 logo above is one system, one solution, right? And we identified that when we did the international supply chain map in 2012. Yeah, we thought, that this is not going to be nice. The technology wasn't industrial, and even if it got to that point, as you said, Internet of Things, IoT, was going to become a nightmare for those who are perhaps less savvy. And to be honest, there are still major equipment providers in our sector today that can't talk to anything but itself. It really surprises me, especially in a high compliance market such as ours, that's critical, whether it's pack and label, whether it's disposal, whether it's extraction. So good to you. Now, with regards to your other point, running multi-shift, our projects are designed, of course, to go 3-shift, and they are of large scale. So continuity between shifts is king. But managing and monitoring remotely is really the brass ring. So could you share with us, without providing any confidential information, but can you share with us what parts of the world are you reaching out to now? Where are you?
Yeah, so we have a tremendous offering and a tremendous client base in Canada and in the US, obviously, because that's where we started. And so Canada is pretty much number one for us, but we have units all the way throughout Europe. We also have units in South and Central America. And so that's really where our footprint is. We're looking to expand out into the rest of Asia, here in the coming years. I know that a lot of the cannabis adoption that has taken place really has from the standpoint of international standpoint, really has been Canada leading the way internationally, interestingly enough. And the US now with hemp has been a huge also boon. They're looking at hemp not as a medical product actually, but an agricultural product, which is a leap forward. And so, I think that as these markets develop, we're looking, collectively here at a market that's growing at 30% compound annual growth rate globally. There's another, 27 to 28 billion, depending on how you look at it in terms of yet to harvest EBITDA and EBIT, which of course we are looking to, grow our company. We're looking to get a larger footprint, partner with companies also like TheraCAST that does a great job, putting, the package together, working with you on IoT solutions. It's really awesome. So I'm really appreciative of the partnership that we have.
Well, likewise. And as your distributor, we can't help you with that pin. We have one of your first orders heading off to Africa. That order is placed to be delivered later this year, somewhere in Q3. So that'll be and then expanding up from there. With orders.
I forgot about Australia because they are a continent.
Yeah, Australia.
And India as well. Unfortunately, we have nothing in Antarctica. But
we probably just skip it and go to Mars. So we'll just hike one out to Mars and we'll call it a day. Now on that point, John, moving forward and staying ahead of competitors in the market as a whole, one thing that I'd be remiss not saying is we saw a lot of vision in you and your team. It wasn't enough just to look at cannabis and extraction. You're looking at other products, and you have worked with other products. Now, whether they were flowers for extraction, which is nothing new to the floral industry, the perfume industry, whatnot, herbal industry. But we have other products that are scheduled that are also now looking for extraction. Can you share us just a little bit of your vision of where you're headed? And again, we wish to showcase that in our facilities in the near future.
Yeah, I mean, what we're doing right now, we're putting quite a bit of time into is, launching our Pure 99 product again. We had an original one that we did in 2014. It was a lower volume product for us, and right now we've really put we've really beefed that up, I guess, for lack of a better word. What it is it's a chromatography system. It's a large chromatography skid, and it allows customers and producers to separate out various cannabinoids from each other. It also allows customers to separate out THC from CBD in order to do THC remediation. So that's a really big thing that we're working on. We also have launched this last year in 2020, two new products, which is the Fractron and the ClearStill. The ClearStill is a best-in-class white film distillation equipment. It has all of the great IoT sensors built right in, along with batch records and input devices, so you can track and trace. But also the Fractron, which is a very, very interesting product for us. Fractron is it's a hybrid mix between a falling film and a trickle reactor. And what's cool about that is it really allows you to do a lot of things that you're not able to do with just a simple rotovap or even another falling film evaporator. It allows you to decarboxylate online. It allows you to put different systems together. You can feed the white film directly from that solvent removal system. But going back to the Pure 99, what we did which is innovative across the board and across the industry. And I kind of, like I told you, my background is basically analytical chemistry and chromatography. We married the original Pure 99 with Fractron. We put them together and we did online closed loop solvent recycling on it. It's crazy. It is so awesome. You can run all day on a gallon of ethanol. It is really great. So I'm really excited about that. Most people, if they know anything about chromatography, they said, oh, well, if you're going to scale it up, it really, you have to have a lot of solvent. And so you're basically talking about cubic meters, multiple hundreds of cubic meters of solvent being generated every minute. And what we did is we put that all online. So it's very, very effective and a lot easier for our customers to deal with. And it's inexpensive to use, and you don't have to have, too many special location requirements to actually install it.
Well, that's awesome, and look forward to sharing more details on that in the day to follow. So, John, we're at the end of our hour. I do wish to thank our viewers from our high-tech park here in Panama Pacifico. John sitting in their headquarters, of course, which we'll have an opportunity to regroup again. And for anyone who wants to see his headquarters, he's got a great walkthrough of the entire facility. He's your host. He'll take you by the hand effectively and walk you right to the back corner where he's taking 1 ton of biomass and then effectively walking you through all the equipment and processes. It's about 45 minutes, but it's worth every minute to watch it, and I would highly recommend it. From our side, we have posted a 3D model of our COE version 2. This is version 1 over my shoulder. V2 is being in fact, put together as we speak by Allied Building and being shipped to plant location. So we will be filming on that location, inside of which will be the extraktLAB's room and equipment in multi-phase. We'll show you the full thing operating. So more to follow. Dr. John, thank you so much. Really appreciate your time today. I know how busy you are, man. So thanks for coming on.
No problem. Really glad to be here, and thanks for everything. You're doing a great job with TheraCAST, by the way. It's really awesome.
Well, likewise, man. And we'll have your team's contact information at the bottom of this with links back to your site. You've got a wealth of information there. As I said, anyone wanting to understand the technology or the process or the issues or the risks, please visit our partner, extraktLAB site. and a little more from United Scientific there. Fantastic. Thank you, John.
Thank you. Bye now.
Bye-bye.